Hello, my name is Sri Radhakrishnan. I am working as a senior lecturer in chemistry at Government Polytechnic College, Gadwal. Okay. For the past few classes, we have started. After completion of the environmental studies, we have started the corrosion. Okay. Corrosion chapter. We have seen the definition of corrosion. What corrosion is, we have learned. And we have also learned the factors that influence the rate of corrosion. Okay, which factors affect the rate of corrosion? See, corrosion is basically the interaction between the metal and its surroundings. So, whatever the factors, there are two sets of factors that will influence the rate of corrosion. Rate of corrosion means whether corrosion takes place fast or slow. Okay. So, the rate of corrosion is influenced by two factors. One is factors based on the metal and the other is factors based on the environment. This is because the corrosion is because of the interaction between the metal and surrounding environment. So, it depends upon both the factors. Depends on both the factors. Okay. So, we have seen the factors based on the metal. Okay, like reactivity of the metal. If reactivity of metal is more, corrosion will be faster. Likewise, if corrosion products are soluble, rate of corrosion will be faster. Corrosion is a surface phenomena. Okay, so as the grain size of the metal decreases, its surface area will increase, and so is corrosion. Corrosion is faster, rate of corrosion will increase rapidly with a decrease in the size of the metal particle. Okay. Area of the relative areas of anode and cathode. It is the cathode that accepts the electrons. The larger is the area of the cathode, the faster its demand will be more for electrons from the anode. Okay. So the larger is the area of the cathode, the faster will be the rate of corrosion. As for the environmental factors, rate of corrosion is directly proportional to the temperature. With temperature, rate of corrosion will increase. Rate of corrosion is directly proportional to the humidity. That is, with increase in the ambient humidity, the rate of corrosion will also increase. Presence of reactive gases such as carbon dioxide, oxygen, oxides of sulfur, etc., they will also increase the rate of corrosion. So, the pH of the surroundings. If the pH of the surroundings is acidic, it will promote or increase the rate of corrosion because metals are basic in nature. The acidic environment increase the rate of corrosion, whereas neutral and basic environment will not enhance the corrosion. Okay, will not increase the rate of corrosion. Okay. In this class, let's try to learn understanding the process of rusting of iron as well as the mechanism of iron. Also, we will learn mechanism of the rusting of iron with chemical equations. Also, we will learn. Okay, and you must learn the chemical equations because you will be writing not as a lay people or a roadside man. Okay, layman, but you will be writing as a student of science. So, you must learn the chemical equations. Okay. What is rusting? Rusting is the change of iron metal into ferric hydroxide or ferric oxide. Okay. Preferably ferric hydroxide. The change of iron metal into ferric hydroxide by the action of surrounding environment is called as rusting. Okay. It's not just the formation of a brownish, reddish brown layer on the surface of the iron metal. No. As a student of chemistry, you must write, if you are asked what is rusting of iron, you must write or you must answer that rusting is the formation of ferric hydroxide layer on the surface of the iron metal due to its interaction with the surrounding environment. Okay, chemical interaction. Corrosion is a surface phenomena. It happens over the surface which is actually comes into contact with the environment. Okay. in the past classes we have learned what is corrosion. Okay, corrosion is the slow and gradual disintegration of the metal, slow and gradual disintegration of the metal due to interaction with the surrounding environment. Okay, due to interaction with the surrounding environment. It is because of electrochemical attack of environment on the metal. This we have learned in the last class, that is electrochemical theory of corrosion. Okay, electrochemical theory states that metals are basically electropositive in nature. They are basic and electropositive in nature. They tend to lose their valence electrons easily and turn into metallic ions. Okay, losing 1, 2 or 3, a fewer number of electrons, 1, 2, 3 or 4 electrons they lose and turn into positively charged ions. Okay, so this theory states that corrosion happens because of formation of a series of anodes and cathodes, either when two different metals are connected to each other in the presence of electrolyte or conducting medium. Okay, two instances it mentions. Whenever two different metals are connected together in the presence of conductive medium like electrolyte, okay, one metal turns into anode and other turns into cathode. Okay, so a galvanic cell is formed. Likewise, corrosion is because of formation of a series of anodes and cathodes on the surface of the same metal. The metal need not be different on the surface of the same metal because of various factors. Okay, so this is what electrochemical theory proposed by a scientist called Whitney says. So basically metals are electropositive in nature, and corrosion happens because of electrochemical interaction of surrounding environment with the metal, which leads to the formation of anodes and cathodes, or formation of galvanic cells. Okay, anodic metal is always more reactive than the cathodic metal, so it undergoes corrosion and it is destroyed or disintegrated. Okay, cathode remains intact. This is what basically electrochemical theory states that, and it explains the formation of a galvanic cell. Okay, it seeks to explain the formation of galvanic cell in 3 ways. One is the formation of electrochemical cells. One is the formation of composition cells. The second is formation of stress cells. The third is the formation of concentration cells. Okay, so let us briefly review what we have learned about the formation of these cells. Okay, so composition cells. It states that whenever two different metals are in contact with each other, okay, two different metals are in contact with each other in the presence of conductive medium like electrolyte, okay, the metal higher in the electrochemical series. Okay, we have seen what electrochemical series is in the previous classes. Okay, the metal higher in the electrochemical series, that is the metal having a lower standard reduction potential and more reactive, which is also by virtue of lower SRP more reactive. Okay, it forms a anode, it turns into anode. So whenever two metals are in contact with one each other, okay, the metal higher in the whose position is higher in the electrochemical series turns into anode, and the metal lower in the electrochemical series turns into cathode. The anodic metal always this happens only in the presence of a conducting medium like a electrolyte solution. Okay, so usually conducting medium will be present by default. So the metal higher in the electrochemical series forms anode because it's more reactive. The one lower in the electrochemical series forms cathode. For instance, imagine a zinc rod and copper rod are dipped in the zinc sulfate solution or some electrolyte solution. Okay, some electrolyte solution, and so zinc forms anode. Zinc being higher in the electrochemical series and more reactive forms anode, and copper, which is lower in the electrochemical series and less reactive, which is also less reactive, forms cathode. Zinc undergoes degradation because of corrosion. Being anode, okay, it undergoes oxidation and it undergoes corrosion and it undergoes degradation because of corrosion. Okay. Next, formation of stress cells. Okay, stress cells. Different parts of the same metal object may have differing amounts of stress and strain. Same metal object. Okay. For example, if you take a nail, you are driving a nail into the wall. Imagine the tip of the nail which is going into the solution wall encounters or comes across a large resistance. Okay, it is highly stressed. It encounters large strain. Likewise, the head of the nail on which we are beating with a hammer. Okay, on the head of the nail. Okay, that also receives a lot of stress. So the head and tip of a nail are more stressed areas in a nail. So they form, because a more stressed area, to withstand the stress and strain, higher stress and strain, it will be endowed with a higher energy. This higher energy makes that part more reactive, and hence they turn into anode. The tip and head of a nail turns into anode. The middle part or shaft part becomes a cathode. Okay, the head and nail first undergo corrosion. Okay, that is about the stress cell. The bent in pipes also, in plumbing plumbers use to connect different pipes in different directions. They use bends. The bent portion in the middle, that is more stressed, it forms anode. The other parts form cathode. Okay, that is the formation of a stress cell. And the concentration cell, it is also called as differential erosion cell. Different parts of a same metal may be exposed to atmospheric oxygen in a different manner. Imagine a zinc rod is in the sodium chloride solution, dipped in the sodium solution. Half of it is in the air, half of it is submerged. The submerged part has less oxygen concentration around it, whereas the part in the air has more oxygen concentration around it. The part with more oxygen concentration turns into cathode, and the part with less oxygen concentration turns into anode. And so thus the submerged part with the less oxygen concentration around it turns into anode and undergoes corrosion. Okay, this is what we have learned in the last class. These are the things we have learned in the last class. Today let us focus our attention. We will try to learn the rusting of iron. Okay, we are using different metals like copper, silver, gold, tin, zinc, etc. in daily life. For various purposes we use various kinds of metals. Okay, copper we use, for instance, copper we use for domestic wiring purpose or industrial wiring also. The same metal is used. Silver and gold are used mostly for ornamental purposes. Silver is also used for making small articles apart from ornaments, small articles like eating plates or drinking glasses, something like that. Gold is too expensive to make these things. Tin also we use widely. Okay, tin for food packaging we use, those are they are tin sheets only. Zinc also we use. See, for water pipes are called as GI pipes, galvanized iron pipes. Actually these GI pipes are iron pipes but coated with zinc. So coating with zinc is called as galvanization. Okay, coating with zinc is called as galvanization. So they are galvanized iron pipes. Okay. So likewise, so many metals are used in our daily life for different purposes. But iron is most widely used because it is quite abundantly available in nature. okay, quite abundantly available in nature, as well as it is a hard metal, and we use iron as a structural matter. For the it can be molded, it will be molded into sheets. We use it as sheets, rods, wires, and we use it for a variety of purposes, like building bridges, rails, railway lines, rails, machinery, factories, etc. Many of the equipment, pieces of furniture, cars, vehicles, almost all of them invariably use iron as a structural material because it has got a lot of strength. But iron has got a certain disadvantage also, we'll come to see. Okay, iron is most widely used metal. Okay, but nearly 20% of the iron produced in a country annually is nearly 20% of the iron produced in any country every year is being lost. That is, 1/5 of the produced iron is being lost because of the natural phenomena or spontaneous phenomena called rusting. Rusting is a specific case where iron undergoes corrosion. Corrosion of iron is called commonly as rusting because it is a very, very widespread phenomena. In the case of silver and gold or platinum, you can see the tarnishing, that is the shine will come down. Okay, silver articles, gold articles, all those they undergo tarnishing. They tarnish. Copper, bronze, etc. they develop on exposure to the environment, they develop a greenish layer or greenish tinge on their surface. All these are examples of corrosion, and the rusting of iron is an instance of widespread phenomena called corrosion. Almost all the metals except almost all metals interact with the surrounding environment and undergo corrosion. Due to corrosion, valuable metal is lost. Different metals are available in nature as metallic compounds along with the earth. Okay, they are called minerals. Minerals are the compounds of metals or metallic compounds dug from the earth crust. Certain minerals from which we can economically or profitably manufacture metals, extract metals, they are called as ores. All ores are nothing but minerals. Okay, they are also dug from the earth's crust, but all ores are not minerals. Okay, all minerals are ores. Ores are the minerals only, but from which a given metal can be extracted profitably. So, different metals are available in nature in the form of their ores. These metals are extracted from the ores, okay, by the process called metallurgy. Okay, we have got metallurgy also in our syllabus. Next we will try to cover the chapter metallurgy. Okay, so it's called as metallurgy. Metals are considered as excited state and ores are in the ground state. Pure metals are more energy, they have more energy, and hence they become less stable. Any substance, any species with higher energy is less stable. So metals, pure metals are of higher energy, they are endowed with a very high energy, and to that extent it destabilizes them. When they turn into metallic compounds, their energy comes down. Okay, their energy decreases, so they become more stable. Always, because all species in nature move towards less stable state to more stable state, metals also change from pure metals into metallic compounds, okay, which are found in the nature as minerals and ores. Okay, so metals have a tendency, metals are higher energy, they possess higher energy in the pure form, and as in the form of compounds, metallic compounds like minerals and ores, they have got lesser energy, lower energy, and hence they are more stable. So they occur in nature in the form of their metallic compounds. Okay. So metals have a tendency to revert back to their original state, even if we prepare metals from the by the process of metallurgy, because we for various purposes we use metals but not metallic compounds. So from metal ores and metallic compounds we manufacture metals, pure metals, by the process called metallurgy. Okay, we prepare pure metals by the process called metallurgy. But these metals are of higher energy, in the higher energy state. So they have a natural tendency and to revert back to the combined condition, that is turn into the metallic compounds. Okay, this process in which these metals combine with environmental constituents to form metallic compounds is the widespread natural and spontaneous phenomena called corrosion. Okay, it's a natural tendency on the part of a metal to undergo corrosion. Okay, therefore, because we are interested in the pure metal, we are manufacturing metals from their compounds, but because of the nature's interaction with these metals, metals are again turning back to their original state in which they occur in nature, that is metallic compounds. So by this process we are losing valuable metal which we have prepared through metallurgy process by taking pains, spending energy and all that. So we call since metals are reverting back to their original state and we are losing the metals, we call this process as deterioration or destruction or disintegration of the metal. Okay, therefore the destruction of the metal starts at the surface, because it is the surface of the metal which is coming into contact with the surrounding environment. Only surface comes into contact, okay, with the surrounding environment. So at the surface, this surface which is coming into the contact with the environment will undergo chemical reaction to form metallic compounds. Therefore, the destruction of metal starts at the surface of the metal. Okay, it starts at the surface of the metal by nature to form compounds. Okay, they interact with the surrounding environment at their surface to turn into metallic compounds. See, metal, this diagram shows you clearly metals are in a state of higher energy. Okay, they interact with the surrounding environmental constituents, which is the process known as corrosion. Okay, and turn into metallic compounds. Thereby, since metals are of higher energy and metallic compounds are of lower energy, okay, the excess energy will be liberated in the form of energy. During corrosion, the metal is undergoing oxidation. It is losing electrons, and the process of loss of electrons we defined as oxidation. Okay, so during the process of corrosion, okay, the metal is undergoing oxidation and turning into metallic compounds by means of oxidation. This process of metals undergoing oxidation and turning into metallic compounds is called as corrosion. Okay, so in nature metals are mostly available, okay, in the form of metallic compounds only. Since we need pure metals, we take these metallic compounds, we dig the metallic compounds in the form of ores, okay, from the earth crust, and we subject them to certain process, okay, to extract pure metal. The process of extraction of pure metal from their metallic compounds are ores, ores. This process is called as process of metallurgy. It involves reducing the metallic compound into metal. It's a process of reduction. Okay, so during the process of metallurgy, the metallic compounds are reduced back to manufacture pure metals, which again undergo chemical reaction with surrounding environment, undergo oxidation, okay, to form metallic compounds constantly. It's a constant process, goes on and on and on, okay. This process by which metals turn into metallic compounds naturally by interaction with the surrounding environment is called as corrosion, okay. This is a natural process and spontaneous, natural and spontaneous process. All natural processes are spontaneous in nature, okay. That is, spontaneous means we need not spend any energy, they occur on their own, okay, on their own momentum they occur, okay, like running of the water down the hill, that is a spontaneous process, okay. So turning of metal into metallic compounds is also a spontaneous process. All metals undergo corrosion because all metals they interact with the surrounding environment. Some interact very fast, some interact very slow, okay, some interact to a lesser extent, some interact with to a higher extent, which depends upon many factors, both on the nature of the metal and the surrounding environment in which the metal is found. So all the metals, almost all the metals interact with the surrounding environment and in the process they undergo corrosion when they are exposed to especially the reactive gas like oxygen in the air, because oxygen makes up around 21% in the air, okay, natural air. So this is highly reactive, oxygen is highly reactive. So when metals are exposed to this air, quite naturally everything is exposed to air. So oxygen present in the air, which is a highly reactive gas, it interacts with the metal and metals undergo turn into metallic compounds by the process called corrosion, okay. Iron is severely affected by the atmospheric oxygen as well as carbon dioxide and water vapor. All the three have influence in turning of iron into rust, okay. The heaviest corrosion of iron is called rusting of iron, okay. Corrosion of iron is called commonly rusting of iron. When exposed to air, a reddish layer is formed, a reddish layer of ferric, Fe2O3 is ferric oxide, Fe2O3 is ferrous oxide, this is Fe3O4. So when iron is exposed to air, a reddish layer is formed on the surface of the iron. This layer is ferric oxide, okay. This ferric oxide or reddish layer is commonly called as rust. Nearly 20% of iron produced annually every year. Nearly 20% of iron we are producing every year. Not only in India, everywhere around the earth, okay, in all countries. 20% of the iron produced is only to replace the iron lost to the corrosion or rusting. So every year 20% of the iron metal is being lost to corrosion. Nearly 20% of iron metal is turning into rust, okay. This is what is happening, okay. Corrosion is usually a slow and we defined corrosion as a slow and gradual disintegration of the metal due to exposure to the surrounding environment, okay. Corrosion is usually a slow process, but rusting of iron occurs relatively quickly, okay, compared to other corrosion of other metals. The rusting of iron takes place a bit faster. In the rust, iron oxide develops. When rust is formed, iron oxide develops, okay, cracks in the metal and rust causes increases the rate of corrosion. Once iron is rusted, it increases the rate of corrosion, and iron loses its strength because of corrosion. Iron loses its strength and the oxide layer bulges. When it bulges, there is a gap between the metal and it becomes very weak, okay. The oxide layer, that is rust, bulges and it becomes very weak, okay, very weak. the metal oxide layer, a metal oxide layer is formed during the corrosion. Okay, metal is turning into metal oxide layer. A metal oxide layer is formed during this process of corrosion. If the layer thickness is less than 300 angstrom units, okay, if the layer thickness is less than 300 angstrom units, this layer is a film. We call it as iron film or rust film. If the thickness is greater than 300 angstrom units, okay, we call it as a iron rust scale. Rust in the form of scale. Okay, thickness is less, we call it as a film, rust film. If thickness is more, we call it as a rust scale. Okay, it a random measure, okay, which is useful in characterizing the extent of rusting. Okay, the oxide layer diffuses more and the metal appears bulged. Yeah, once the oxide layer is formed, this oxide layer bulges, that is increases in the volume. Since the volume is increased, the metal appears to have increased in volume, the whole metal. Alkali metals, alkali and alkaline metals are highly reactive. Okay, especially the alkali metals are most reactive metals, starting with lithium, sodium, potassium, etc. Okay, so they are highly reactive. Since they are highly reactive, they readily oxidize. They immediately interact with the atmospheric oxygen and they immediately undergo, they react with oxygen and form oxides. That is why, I don't know whether you know it or not, sodium is an alkali metal which is a highly reactive metal. That is why if it is exposed to oxygen, it burns in the air because of oxidation. Okay, so it is stored in an inert solvent like kerosene. Usually sodium metal is preserved in kerosene so that it will not come into contact with the air and undergo corrosion. If with water also, it reacts with explosive violence, explosively. Okay, so water also quite highly reactive, so it will not be, sodium cannot touch water. Okay, it reacts quite explosively. In the air also it burns, so it is stored. Alkali metal, being alkali, sodium is alkali, example of alkali metal, it is stored usually in an inert solvent like kerosene. Okay, so alkali metals being highly reactive, they interact with the oxygen and they form metallic oxides. Okay, if the volume of oxide is less than volume of the metal, oxide layer is non-productive layer. So when the metal surface interacts with the oxygen, it turns into metallic oxide. If this volume of metallic oxide or thickness of metallic oxide is more than the volume of the metal, okay, volume of the metal, it will not form any metallic any protective layer. Same is case with the rusting of iron. Okay, volume of oxide is less than volume of the metal. Example, sodium, potassium, iron also. If the volume of oxide is greater than the volume of metal, okay, the oxide layer acts as a protective layer. In the case of aluminium, as I mentioned in the earlier lectures, in the last lecture also, whenever the aluminium is exposed to the air, the surface of the aluminium surface interacts with the oxygen present in the air and forms a thick layer of aluminum oxide. This aluminum oxide acts as a protective layer and cuts off the contact of environment with the underlying aluminum metal. It acts as a barrier and it protects the aluminum oxide, which is formed as a result of corrosion of aluminium. It prevents further corrosion of the aluminum metal. It acts as a protective layer. Okay. Necessary conditions. What are the necessary conditions for the rusting of iron? Necessary conditions for the rusting of iron are impure state of the metal. impure state of the metal. If impurities are present in the bulk of iron, okay, iron undergoes corrosion. If iron is pure, 100% pure, the rate of corrosion will be far less. Okay, impure state of iron promotes the rate of rusting. Okay, we have seen earlier in the among the factors influencing the rate of corrosion. Okay, so likewise, impure state of the iron will increase the chances of the rusting of iron and increase the rusting, the rate of rusting will be faster if impurities are present in the iron metal. The more are the impurities, the faster will be the rate of rusting. Presence of moisture or humidity around the iron metal also increases the rate of rusting. It promotes the rusting. Likewise, the reactive gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide which are present in the atmosphere, okay, they will also react with iron and cause rusting. They will also increase the rate of rusting. Electrolytes present in the atmosphere like HCl gas, etc. If electrolytes are also present in the ambient atmosphere, they will also increase the corrosion of the iron. If the pH of the surroundings is acidic, the rate of rusting will increase. Temperature, the higher is the temperature, the faster will be the rate of rusting. So, the impure state of the iron, moisture, oxygen, carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, electrolytes present in the atmosphere, acidic pH of the atmosphere, environment and higher temperature, all these factors will increase the rate of rusting. Okay. Effects of corrosion. Because of effects of corrosion, effect of this rusting, the iron metal strength come down. Okay, because of this factories will be closed because of loss of machinery. Efficiency of metal equipment will decrease. Products prepared in these machines may be contaminated because of rust. The strength of rusted tubes, pipes, okay, they will decrease and they may lead to collapses. Bridges are collapsed. Okay, they may lead to leakage of food. Okay, food and containers. Boilers may explode due to corrosion. All this can happen because of corrosion. Okay, electrochemical series in which elements are arranged or metals are arranged in the increasing order of standard reduction potentials. This is the electrochemical series. Okay, you can see. Okay, on observation, the standard reduction potential of iron is less than the reduction potential of oxygen. Reduction potential of iron is 0.41. Reduction potential of oxygen is 1.32. So, the reduction potential of iron is less. So, whenever it forms anode and oxygen forms cathode, oxygen undergoes reduction and iron undergoes oxidation and corrosion. Okay. Rusting. Let us see a few examples of rusting. Let's see a few examples of rusting. Okay. When metals interact with acids in the acidic medium, we'll see rusting in the acidic medium and neutral medium also. Okay. When the metals react with acids, corrosion starts. For example, at anode always oxidation takes place. So, iron turns into Fe2 plus and by losing a pair of electrons. The equation is Fe gives rise to Fe2 plus 2 electrons. Okay. So, iron metal is losing a pair of electrons, okay, to turn into a ferrous ion. This loss of electrons we call as oxidation. Okay. At cathode, what's happening is in the acidic medium, hydrogen is present. So, these electrons are picked up by, okay, these electrons are picked up by H plus ions and it turns into H2 gas. This is a process of, since hydrogen is picking up electrons, it is undergoing reduction. Gain of electrons is reduction. So the net reaction is in the acidic medium, Fe plus 2H plus gives Fe2 plus H2 gas will be evolved. Okay, electrons liberated from the anode of anodic metal travel to the cathode. So here in the acidic medium, displacement of iron takes place. That is why we say that acids, reactive metals liberate hydrogen gas from acids. This is what is happening actually. Okay, this is what is happening actually. In a neutral medium like water, okay, at anode again iron undergoes oxidation to give rise to Fe2 plus and it loses a pair of electrons. This process we describe as oxidation. At cathode, water, two molecules of water react with one molecule of oxygen, and these together, two molecules of water and a molecule of oxygen combine with 4 electrons to give rise to 4 OH minus, 4 hydroxyl ions. Since this reaction, water and oxygen are picking up electrons, they are undergoing what we call as reduction. So Fe plus 2 ferrous ion will combine with hydroxyl ions to form ferrous hydroxide, which in turn changes into ferric hydroxide. This is called as rust. Ferric hydroxide, formation of ferric hydroxide is usually called as rusting or rust. Okay, this is what happens in the neutral medium. In the acidic medium, we have seen the evolution of hydrogen gas. There hydrogen gas is getting reduced, whereas in the neutral medium like water, the water along with the oxygen, they are undergoing reduction, picking up electrons and undergoing reduction to form hydroxyl ions. These hydroxyl ions will combine with the ferrous ions, positive charge ferrous ions to form ferrous hydroxide, and then which changes into ferric hydroxide. Okay, that is called rust. In atmosphere and water, the reactions are happening. At anode, iron is undergoing Fe2 plus and 2 electrons are given up, lost, and at cathode, okay, oxygen combines with 4 H plus ions and 4 electrons to form 2 H2O, or okay, water is formed, or oxygen and one oxygen molecule and 2 water molecules combine with 4 electrons to form 4 hydroxyl ions. Okay, this is what is taking place. When more oxide is available, it further oxidizes. Okay, in the first case, reduction, 4 hydroxyl ions are formed. These 4 hydroxyl ions again combine with the 4 molecules of ferrous hydroxide to form 4 molecules of ferric hydroxide. Okay, this ferric hydroxide gradually loses water, and 2FeO is taken thrice, gives rise to Fe2O3 dot XH2O plus 3 minus XH2O. Okay, 3 minus XH2O. This Fe2O3 dot XH2O is called as rust. Okay, it's form of ferric hydroxide. Fe2O3 dot XH2O is actually the formula of rust, where X varies from 0 to 3. Okay, this is the formula of rust. Okay, this how if limited amount of oxygen is available, Fe2O3 forms a mixed oxide like Fe3O4. If limited amount of oxygen is available, okay, Fe2O3 forms a mixed oxide like Fe3O4. Fe3O actually is a mixture of Fe2O3 plus FeO. Okay, this is a mixed oxide. Okay, summary: we have discussed the phenomena of rusting of iron, and we have also checked the rusting mechanism of rusting of iron in acid, in neutral media, as well as what happens when abundant oxygen is available and limited oxygen supply also, what happens we have seen. Okay, we try to solve a few questions to test our understanding. Okay, in corrosion process, metals are, what's happening to the metals during corrosion? Metals are naturally electropositive, usually electropositive, and they lose electrons. This loss of electrons we call as oxidation. So in the corrosion process, metals are B, oxidized. They are oxidized. Metals are oxidized in the process of corrosion. Second, in the corrosion process, oxygen. What's happening to the oxygen? Oxygen is picking up electrons. Obviously, we have seen in the equations, right? Okay. So in the corrosion process, oxygen is metal is losing electrons and undergoing oxidation. Oxygen is gaining electrons, and we define gain of electrons as reduction. So in the corrosion process, oxygen is reduced. B is the answer. Okay. In oxidation process, electrons are gained or lost. Obviously, in the oxidation process, electrons are lost. If electrons are gained, we call that a process as reduction. Okay. Oxidation, electrons are lost. In reduction, electrons are gained. Corrosion is a chemical change because it's a chemical change, obviously, because iron is turning into ferric hydroxide or ferric oxide. Okay. It's a new chemical compound is formed due to corrosion. So it's obviously a chemical change. Okay. It's obviously a chemical change. The oxidation state of iron in the elemental state. In the elemental state, the oxidation state is of any element is 0. Same is the case of iron. The oxidation state of iron in the elemental state is 0. The answer is D. Okay. The change in Fe plus 2 to Fe plus 3. Fe plus 2 gives Fe plus 3 plus electron. So it is obviously an electron is lost in changing from Fe plus 2 to Fe3 plus. Okay. So it's obviously loss of electron is we defined as oxidation. Okay. With this we conclude this topic. Thank you for listening. Okay.